You're listening to WRAS, album 88. I'm Eric Quintana here with Kayla Wright. And joining me now, Atlanta's own acoustic R&B musician, Chris Cauley, known most notably right now for his being a contestant on The Voice on NBC. You took Grenade by Bruno Mars, and you knocked it out of the park. Why?
Oh, man, thank you.
Why Bruno Mars?
Man, honestly, well, I'll start by saying I honestly can't watch it. I can't stand it. I'm my own worst critic, and I know I could have done 200 times better, but there's so much going into it. You know, we're up 10 hours, we're up at 5 a.m. doing all these interviews and stuff. My voice was just cashed, but it must have been okay, for Adam and CeeLo to turn around. But I actually chose Bruno Mars. I actually think he's one of the most relevant artists today that are still, it still appeals to the pop market, but it doesn't compromise musicality. And that's really hard to do right now with all the stuff that's on the radio nowadays. So I just respect him so much as an artist.
Has Bruno Mars contacted you at all about this rendition?
He hasn't yet. I've heard that he has seen, because there's a YouTube video of me doing this song like a while ago, long before the show. And apparently the first day I put it up, he had seen it. I hadn't heard from him, but I know a couple of his horn players pretty well. And apparently that he has seen it. So I'm waiting on a call. Bruno, hit me up, dude. You're amazing.
Why exactly did you pick Adam Levine? Is it the voices are kind of similar?
Yeah, I actually went with Adam. I actually knew of Javier Colon, who won the show last year. He's kind of a buddy of mine. We had crossed paths a few times, and he had such good things to say about Adam and how he's so hands-on. And not to mention, I'm definitely lean more towards his style of music, and I feel like he can mold me to kind of whatever he wants. I'm kind of there to accept it and learn from it.
Explain to those who might have missed out on today's performance what went on today.
We were down in the cafe area. I'm not sure what the exact title would be.
Was it the Universe Student Center?
Oh, okay, the Student Center. And we had some fun. It was like a noon performance for about an hour. And honestly, daytime shows can be kind of hit or miss because it's not necessarily I don't know about you guys, but whenever I go to Chick-fil-A or something to grab lunch, I don't necessarily expect nor want a concert in my face. But so I try and just make it really fun and really interactive, as opposed to the whole sit down, be quiet, watch me kind of thing. I try and be silly, make a few jokes, and I think it went over really well.
I think that was the difference between you and some other people that we've had in the past. That you
cool.
made it very interactive.
Good to know.
It was a lot of fun. I know that. At least me personally, I haven't had that much fun at an event like that.
Thank
since.
you, dude.
Personable.
I try to be. Yeah, because I want to get across, especially with this whole, with the voice going on now, just naturally, whenever you see someone on TV, and I'm guilty of this too, you just put them up on a pedestal no matter what it is. If you're on TV, you are relevant nowadays, no matter what it is. Fame and infamy is kind of the same thing right now. But so I just want to get across, man. I'm so silly. I don't take myself very serious. I just have an absolute blast with what I do, and I want that to come across.
Now, did Georgia State contact you, or did you? How did this go work out?
Yeah, they actually contacted my agency. I'm actually with the Auburn Moon Agency, who books just colleges. And honestly, 5 or 6 years ago, that's all I did was tour schools. I used to do, like 50 colleges a semester and be on the road constantly. And I kind of got out of that, obviously, with other endeavors. But now that I'm starting to, be I guess in the quote unquote spotlight is what they're calling it. That I like to go back and kind of go back to what I used to do and see the different reactions nowadays. It's a lot of fun for sure.
Talking about performing at Georgia State and universities, what is a main stage that you want to see yourself getting to? That once you're on that stage, you're like, I think I made it.
Yeah. Oh, good question. Honestly, being in front of obviously The Voice is a reality show, and it's a television show at the end of the day. So it's not necessarily a massive career I've made it move, but at the end of the day, it is in front of millions and millions of people. So I can't even imagine how many shows it would take to get in front of that many people, whereas now I can just do it in 90 seconds in a song. But as far as the ideal show, even if I won the show, I would want to spend a good year or two supporting an artist like a John Legend, who you guys just had, or like an Alicia Keys, and put me opening up for them for a good hour at places like the Fox Theater and stuff like that, and get in front of that right crowd and kind of build a fan base the old-fashioned way.
You're listening to WRAS Album 88. Joining us now, contestant on NBC's The Voice. Growing up, what kind of music inspired you?
Man, I'm such a soul guy. It's not even funny. My mom's Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder. My dad's James Brown, even a little Jimi Hendrix. So anything with emotion and feeling in it, I naturally lean towards the Motown thing. And being a little skinny white kid growing up in Cumming, Georgia, I'm not really sure how that happened. But I just, anything soulful, it's really got to move me for me to listen to it.
And if you weren't pursuing a career in music, what would you be doing instead?
Man, that's a good. I'm not cut out for anything else, to be quite honest. So I'm destined to be playing music. Fortunately, I've never, other than high school like jobs. And actually, my first job was a DJ at a skating rink, which is pretty cool. When I was 15 years old. And making barbecue pork sandwiches at a couple of spots. But as far as being out of high school and a quote unquote real desk job, I've never really had to do that, thankfully. And I've always just been, that music is really all I know at this point. And but otherwise, other than that, I would love to be a pro athlete, and I still have hopes and aspirations for that, even though my timetable is gone years and years ago. I'm gonna hit up. Yeah, man, I was a basketball player and a baseball player growing up, so I think I'm gonna go crash Orlando and hit up spring training and see if I can just walk on. I don't even know if you can do that in the majors. I'll just walk on to the Braves. Hey guys, you need me. I'll wash your bats or something. Just let me a part of the team.
Well, like you mentioned, we had John Legend here yesterday,
Yes.
and I've been kind of making a point to ask any musician or anyone in the music industry this. With the growing popularity of YouTube and Spotify and Pandora, and while that may be great for you to get exposure, in the long term of the, in the music industry, it's not such a great thing.
Right.
Where do you see the music industry monetizing their product in the next 10, 20 years or so?
That's a great question. Honestly, man, I'm totally cynical about it all, to be honest. Like, not that I want to be clear, not that I want everybody to buy my record. I honestly would sell one record and tell everybody to burn it. I don't care, as long as you're listening. Then the financial part. If I'm doing my part, the financial part will take care of itself. But as far we live in such a social media world and with such a short attention span. You're here today, gone tomorrow, kind of thing. But I honestly, I guess I don't necessarily have an answer for that. I don't think it's a good thing, but as we just saw on the Grammys, like for instance, Bruno Mars, we were just speaking to him. He got up there and killed his performance, and I'm like, finally, somebody in pop world is getting it right. And so I honestly think we're gonna start, turning the tide, because you saw Nicki Minaj and people weren't too happy about that. But then Adele can stand there, not need pyro and all this kind of crazy dancing stuff, and everybody respects that. So if you go back and look, all the old school people, as far as the Grammys go, that's what everybody was talking about. So I think we're kind of turning that corner, and hopefully it's for the better.
You listen to WRAS Album 88. Joining us now, Chris Cauley, contestant on NBC's The Voice. I think Kayla has the next question for you.
What is it about Atlanta, even though it's your hometown, that you think makes it such a great music city?
Man, I'm one of those obnoxious, like, I rep my city everywhere, and
Right.
everybody's like, shut up, man. I wear it on my shirt. I wear the hats. I mean, everything about me says Atlanta. I will never leave. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, you're about to move out to L.A. now, I guess. Absolutely not. I will never leave Atlanta, Georgia. Proud to call it my home. What it is, the music scene, there's so much, in particular, like the jazz/R&B scene is massive, and that's kind of where I'm at. I hang out at Cafe 290 and Cat's Cafe and Apache Cafe, and any given night of the week, you can go in and see some incredible talent.
What about Northside Tavern? Have you ever been there?
I've been to Northside once, but it's been a really, really, really long time. So I honestly don't know enough about it to have an opinion.
I was just asking because of the blues. And
Yeah. No, anything like that. And what Blind Willie's, I remember that spot as the blues, but yeah, I naturally go to the jazz clubs, to be quite honest, and try and do my thing there.
What's the next step for you after The Voice, after, I guess your cyber music career on the internet has kind of lifted off a little bit?
Absolutely.
What's next?
Man, I honestly, it would be easy for me to lay out like this fake plan and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I don't know. And I guess I actually don't mind not knowing. That's kind of what's cool about this business. I have, I'm talking with some folks, some labels and some management folks already, and just from one episode, which is cool. So I've just got to milk it, because I do realize I am very realistic about the whole reality experience. It's a very short window. If it weren't for The Voice, I would not be on any other show. I'm very cynical, like I said earlier, about the whole, the cheap product on reality shows and this and that. But The Voice has something special, and I'm already seeing the benefits of that. And I just want to, ride it for what it's worth, and take as much opportunity as many opportunities as possible. And I'm all ears. So people listening, hit me up, man. I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's make another record, and let's go on the road.
Thank you so much, Chris,
Hey, man,
for
thank you
coming in. We really appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by Georgia State.
I appreciate y'all.
Album 88.
Absolutely. I always like it when people want to listen to what I have to say. So
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Wish you nothing but continued success, and hopefully we hear from you after The Voice.
Oh, absolutely. I'll come back anytime.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you, guys.